particular case, having said that, why are we in this mess? It's not only Congress, the executive itself has something to be blamed for. What? The budget process is in 3 stages. You prepare it, preparation, and you have the National Expenditure Program. Doon pa lang sa NEP, pinapasok na yung pork barrel. Second, after the National Expenditure Program, the budget is submitted to Congress. Doon sa Congress, amendments, now called insertions. But
yes.
let me emphasize.
Yung insertions, lahat daw may insertion.
Yeah, the insertions. There's a lot of talk about prevent all these insertions. You cannot prevent members of Congress from proposing amendments.
Why not?
Called insertion, because that's a power of the granted under the Constitution. I tell you, you pass a law, it says you cannot amend the law.
Yun nga ngayon ng proposal,
Yes.
diba? Nagkaroon ng proposal. Yung Malacanang na parang kung ano yung NEP, yan na.
Mali yan. It cannot stand constitutional scrutiny. And if that is true, I am saddened by the lack of discernment of what the relationship is. The remedy is, all right, so you include your pork barrel. It is up to Malacanang to veto. You have an item veto power, 9-item veto power in the Constitution for the budget, so that the President, can veto or at least mark for later release these amendments. And here, I lay the blame squarely on the on the doors of the DBM and the Executive Secretary for not having advised the President that these are all pork barrels, that, we have to veto this, or at the very least, mark it for later release.
Yun nga sir, parang ang basa ng tao, yung executive tsaka Congress, meron mga unholy alliances. Kumbaga, yung 2025 budget nga sir, diba? Kunyari, vinito, pero actually, hindi naman talaga vinito, yung mga dapat na vinito.
Yes,
hindi ko pa alam mo natin yan.
Yes.
So parang ano na bang mangyayari? Kasi kung hindi tatanggalin yung pork barrel at laging meron talagang karapatan na mag-amend yung mga kongresista, paano natin mapipigilan nga yung pag-abuso?
Pwede. First, there must be a diligent effort to stop this through the powers existing in the office of the President. Veto it. But you veto it, so the first thing to do is you must be diligent enough to find out which items are pork barrels. Diligence, and then political will. Political will to veto this. And again, this is not a perfect society, but precisely we have laws, we have systems to try to approach a perfect state. It's up to us. And I don't believe that there are no laws. There are enough laws. It's a question of properly implementing it. It's a question of political will. It's a question of diligence in seeing to it that the public good is the primary consideration. Heto, halimbawa ito. Bakit naman pinabayaan ng Office of the Executive Secretary at ng DBM na mangyayari ito? Huwag mo namang sabihin, takot ako sa congressman, takot ako sa senador. Hindi ganoon ang sistema. May pangulo ka, may makapangyarihan. Pag pinipressure ka na gustong isaksak ko, sabihin mo yung pangulo, sir, hindi ko kaya ito. I mean, that's a practical way of doing it. But I am at a loss as to how to respond to your question. Because indeed, a lot of things must be done. It's not easy. The electoral process is flawed. But, we just have to make it work. There is no substitute for that. Because if we give up, lalo masama.
Nabanggit niyo yung DBM nga, actually. I should have asked this question earlier, but sa tingin niyo po ba, anong accountability ng DBM in this particular mess? Let's say the name already, si Secretary Amina Pangandaman. Anong dapat niyang ginawa early on?
Amina is my friend, but I lay the blame on the DBM for not advising the President correctly when all of this mess came up. this is, ngayon lang, I hear for the first time, there is a so-called leadership fund when they are preparing the National Expenditure Program. For the love of me, I never heard that before. Now,
Yes.
this no less than the undersecretary or whatever his rank or official of the DPWH calls the Senate President. Oh, how do we allocate your leadership fund? My goodness
Bakit may
gracious.
ganong privilege bigla, ano?
Yeah. So, all these things, hindi natin alam. I never knew. I never was a beneficiary.
You've never heard of that leadership
Yes,
fund. And you
before.
were 3 times Senate
Yes,
President.
I was never heard of it.
Walang ganon.
It has deteriorated to this extent. And here again, the DPM and the Executive Secretary should have advised the President, Sir, veto this. Sir, hindi po pwede ito. Huwag tayo mag-release ng pera. Walang ganun na nangyari. The President is filled with so much problems. And that is why he has a cabinet member, he has an executive secretary to advise him, help him make the right decisions. Here, there is failure.
Yeah, you're right. I remember in one of the hearings, yung DPWH Undersecretary, parang meron siyang mga, allegedly text messages na, kayo po, ano po ang sa inyo? Parang kumbaga nag-aalok sa mga congressmen and senators. Meron po ba kayo? Para bang in the preparation of the NEP, tinatanong pa yung mga, anong gusto niyo sa inyo? Is yung ganito bang kalakaran, sir? Meron na ba nito noon na parang tinatawagan kayo? Anong sa inyo?
Wala ganun.
Wala talaga ganun.
I can swear by the stacks of the Bible, I never was called to tell me that I have a leadership fund. I am not saying that there was no pork barrel at my time. There was. But it's a question of how you can implement it effectively to minimize, not eradicate. Because we are not living in heaven. We are living on earth. And everything is not perfect. It's a question of being able to at the very least, to do something which can minimize, if not eradicate, all of these things. And,